Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. So in today's video we will be going to discuss about the very interesting and practical topic, that is pragmatism. In my previous video I have already explained idealism, realism and naturalism. So you can go and check. This philosophy answers a very simple but powerful question: does this knowledge work in real life? Pragmatism is a philosophy which believes that truth is what works in real life. So, according to pragmatism, knowledge is not fixed. Knowledge keeps changing according to human needs and experiences. So, the word pragmatism comes from the Greek word pragma, which means action or practice. So, this philosophy does not believe in learning just for theory. Instead, it asks, can this knowledge solve real life problem? That is why pragmatism emphasizes on three things: utility, experience and result. So learning according to pragmatism happens through problem solving and active participation. Now let's understand the philosophy of pragmatism. As we already know that philosophy is divided into three main branches. One is your metaphysics, second is your epistemology, and third is your axiology. Let's understand these concepts one by one. So pragmatism believes that reality is not fixed. Reality is dynamic and constantly changing. It is not permanent. So there is no permanent reality and no absolute truth. Keep this in mind. This is very important. If this concept is clear in the starting only, then you will be able to understand the other concept very easily. So keep this in mind that pragmatism focus on there is no permanent reality and no absolute truth. So reality is shaped by human actions and human experiences. So reality means what helps humans solve problem in the real life. The world, the universe or the reality is always in a state of change and constant flux. As we already know, epistemology deals with nature of knowledge. So pragmatism believes that knowledge comes from the experience and it is tested by its usefulness. And keep in mind, knowledge is not final and not absolute according to the pragmatism. So epistemology deals with problem of knowledge and truth. Knowledge based on common experience is true, genuine, and worthy of acquisition. The experience in pragmatism is primarily not an affair of knowing. It is first of all a process of acting, doing, and living. In a short, we can say knowledge gained through doing, acting, and living is useful according to the pragmatist. So, knowledge is gained through experience, experimentation, and problem solving. So, learning does not happen by memorizing fact, it happens by doing, reflecting, applying knowledge in the real situations. Next is axiology. Now, let's understand the concept of values in pragmatism. Pragmatism does not believe in fixed values, eternal moral values. Values are created by humans. It change according to time, place, and situation. So, an action is considered good if its results are useful, it benefits the society. So pragmatism emphasizes on social values, democratic values, and utility and usefulness. Good is what helps individual and social life. Next is pragmatism in education. So pragmatism considered as life itself, not preparation for the future life. So education should help student face real life situation, prepare learner for social life and develop problem solving abilities. So learning should be meaningful, practical and connected to the life. Forms of pragmatism. Humanistic pragmatism means that every act should be for the benefit of man. Due to humanistic pragmatism, whatever fulfills man's purpose, satisfy his desire and develop his life is true. Second is experimental pragmatism. Experimental pragmatism regard that as true which can be experimentally verified. In other words, whatever work is true. Third is biological pragmatism. Biological pragmatism has great faith in man's capacity for shaping his own destiny in the environment. It believes that man by nature is potentially strong to make a better environment for himself. Next are principles of pragmatism, or we can say main features of pragmatism. First is changing nature of eternal values. Pragmatism, like realism, does not believe in eternal values of truth, beauty, and goodness. So, truth is eternal according to idealism, while according to pragmatism, truth is made by man. So, in changing world, nothing is true or good forever. What was good yesterday may cease to be good today. So, man created his own values. He creates beauty through experience. It is instrumental value which is criterion in the pragmatism. Even religion has no values of its own. Religion should be justified and accepted as far it works well. Second is reality is still in making. For naturalism, reality is ready made and complete from the all eternity, while in pragmatism, it is still in making and not ready made. It is to be made and created and remolded to suit our purpose and desire. So, the world or the universe, according to pragmatism, is always in a state of change or flux. It is always in making. The individual is ever concerned with making it better. Third is experience the center of reality. Contrary to naturalism, which is naturocentric, where nature is the center of reality, idealism, which is psychocentric, where mind is center of reality. So pragmatism is anthropocentric, which means human experience the center of reality. So reality is that which is experienced by man. Satisfaction result of experience is called the truth. So it is the human experience which is the determiner of values of life. Next is faith in experimentation. Pragmatism has a deep faith in experimentation. So nothing is good or bad before it is tested by the experiment. Only that thing is good and beautiful which emerges out useful after experimentation. William James very rightly said that the leading pragmatists insist upon the truth cache values in experimental terms. Next is faith in present and immediate future. Pragmatism does not believe in past. Past for them is dead and gone. The pragmatists remain confined to the immediate problem and look toward the immediate future. So they live from moment to moment and do not plan for life. So they believe that tomorrow is another day with its own problem, their own methods of solution. So very practical approach pragmatists have. So today we cannot be certain about methods of solving problems which may arise in the future. Next is faith in humanism. Pragmatists are humanist. They believe that science should be utilized for social welfare and solution of the human problem. Faith in social and democratic values. Pragmatists are fundamentally democratic because democratic society is best means of achieving humanitarian ideals. So it is through democratic ideals that individual can fulfill his purpose and achieve efficiency in his effort. Importance of activity like learning by doing. Pragmatism emphasize action rather than thought. So action is supreme and thought is subordinate. So the aim of life is action, not mere contemplation. Thought is a means of life. So action is superior to a life of contemplation. Between theory and practice, pragmatism states that practice comes first and theory after words. It is action which gives birth to the thought. So in order to determine the meaning of idea, it must be put into practice. So learning by activity, learning by doing are the main focus of pragmatism. Next is faith in flexibility. Pragmatists believe that nothing is fixed and final in the world. Life is ever changing and self renewing process. Change is a law of nature. The world is always in state of change and flux. So values also change with time and space. So they are man made and not fixed forever. Last point is development of personality. Pragmatism believes that Development of personality is possible only because of interaction with the environment. Man has the capacity to mold his environment according to his needs, purpose, and desire. So, as the development of personality is possible only in social context, society is essential for the development and perfection of the personality of the individual. The aim of education under pragmatism are first is development of problem solving ability. So pragmatists believe that education should make student capable of solving real life problem. So students should learn to think critically, analyze situations and find practical solution. Example, instead of memorizing formulas, students should learn how to apply them to solve everyday problem like budgeting or measuring materials for a project. Second is social and democratic citizenship. Pragmatism believes that education should create responsible and democratic citizens. Students learn to respect others, understand social responsibility, and participate in community life. For example, students learn to express opinions, respect others, and participate in group discussions. Adjustment to the environment. Education should help students adapt to changing conditions in society and nature. Education should help students to adapt to changing condition in society and its nature. So students learn to face challenging and adjust their behavior according to situation. For example, learning to handle social changes, natural disasters, and or technological development. Development of personality. Pragmatism aims to develop a complete personality mentally, socially, emotionally, and morally. So, education helps students become confident, responsible, and emotionally balanced. Students learn leadership, self control, and positive attitude through real life activities. Preparation of practical life. Education should prepare students for practical living, not just theoretical knowledge. Learning must be useful in everyday life. So, teaching skill like communication, cooking, carpentry, computer literacy, etc., must be inbuilt in the students. Next is role of teacher. In pragmatism, the teacher role is creates learning situation. Teacher plan activities and learning experiences, then guide student. Teacher helps student find answer rather than giving direct solution. It encourage inquiry. Teacher motivates student to ask questions and explore. It maintain democratic atmosphere. Teacher respects student opinion and encourage participation. Role of students. Students are not passive listeners, they are active learners. They participate in activities and learning processes. The problem solver they are. They analyze situation and find solution. They are the explorer. They explore new ideas through experiments and experiences. Participate in learning. They actively engage in classroom discussion and activities. Next is curriculum. The flexible and dynamic curriculum should be there. It must be based on child interest and its need. Pragmatism basically emphasizes on social studies, science, craft, vocation subject, and real life activities. Integrated and activity curriculum must be framed according to the pragmatism. Next is method of teaching. Here, teachers should focus on various innovative teaching methods like learning by doing, project method, problem solving method, experimental method, group work, and discussion. Then, criticism of pragmatism. Pragmatism is a philosophy that focuses on practical learning and real life experiences. But like every philosophy, it also has some limitations too. So today we will explore the main criticism of pragmatism. First is lack of absolute truth. Pragmatism say that truth is what works in practice. But critics argue that this idea is not always correct because what is useful today may not be true. So truth should be permanent and universal, not temporary. We can take one example. In past, people believed that earth was flat. It seemed practical at that time, but it was not true. So critics say pragmatism failed to provide absolute truth. Overemphasis on practical life. Pragmatism focus mainly on practical skills and useful knowledge, but critics says that it may neglect theoretical knowledge. It may ignore higher values such as philosophy, literature, and arts. If education become only practical, student may miss the beauty of pure knowledge and intellectual development. Next is ignoring moral and spiritual values. Pragmatism is mostly material and result oriented. It focuses on usefulness and practical benefit. But critiques argue that it neglects ethical values, it ignores spiritual growth. A student may become successful but may lack character, morality, and empathy. So critiques say pragmatism fails to develop good human beings, not just skilled individuals. Lack of discipline. Pragmatism emphasizes freedom, democracy, and child centered learning, but this freedom may lead to lack of discipline in students, lack of respect for teachers and authority. So, critics believe that too much freedom can create chaos in the classroom. Not all learning is experiential. Pragmatism believes that knowledge comes from experience, but critics argue not all subjects can be learned only through experience. Some topics require abstract thinking, such as mathematics and theoretical science, etc. For example, you cannot learn the concept of infinity only through experience. So, experience alone is not enough. First is hard to apply in large classroom. Pragmatic methods like project, experiment, and group activities need time, resource, and individual attention. In crowded classroom, it becomes difficult to implement these methods. So critics say pragmatism is not practical in the big school. So in a conclusion, we can say that pragmatism is a valuable, but it must be balanced with moral values and theoretical knowledge. So thank you for watching. If you found this video helpful, please like, share, and subscribe. And don't forget to comment below what topic you want to learn next. So see you in the next video. Bye bye.